Hello, Salesian sisters here, Sister Ella. Tomorrow, this is the 22nd of January. Today, the 21st, is the feast of the young and marvellous martyr, Saint Agnes. And I've been thinking about one of our past pupils, Laura Vicuña. And Laura's day is tomorrow, the 22nd of January. So who is Laura? Well, Laura was born in South America, in Chile, quite a prosperous family. They were a political family. Her uncle was, he was in the running for presidency. Her father was a military man. Anyway, the political situation changed and they were in danger, and so they fled over the Andes into the Argentine, and her father died tragically. That left her mother, who was a very beautiful lady, Mercedes, and she had these two young daughters, Laura, and a younger daughter, Julia. So what was Mercedes to do? There she was in a foreign land with nothing. Well, a protector, inverted commas, appeared, and he was only too willing to offer protection, again, inverted commas, to the beautiful Mercedes and her daughters. And it happened, they went to his estate, and he paid for the education of the girls. So they went to a simple little boarding school run by our sisters, Salesian sisters, in the Argentine. Now the education there was honest and true, and preparing the girls for what their life was likely to be. Girls were married off very young there. In fact, Julia, who was the younger sister of Laura, she was married at 12 because she didn't have a dad and she didn't have a brother to protect her, and her mother permitted this marriage to take place. So that gives you some idea of the sort of world in which we're living. Anyway, through this frank and honest education, religious education that they were receiving, it dawned on Laura the position her mother was in. And she said, I must get my mother away from this man, Manuel Moro. I must get her away. So when the holidays came, she thought she'd nothing else to do but ask her mother, tell her mother to leave this man. But it wasn't so easy. And the mother, she was ensconced there, and the man was paying for the girls to be at school, and so she didn't think she could leave. And whether she wanted to or not, we're not sure. Anyway, time went on. Laura was growing into an attractive girl herself, and she was conscious of this Moro, and she didn't like to be around him, and she tried to get never ever to be alone with him. Anyway, he arranged for a big party, and he was going to lead off the dancing with the lady of his choice, who happened to be Laura. But Laura had different ideas, and she refused him. He was outraged at this, and he took it out on Mercedes, Laura's mother. And she had a terrible time as a result. Now, to cut a long story short, there was a terrible flooding in the school. Laura got a chill, she was very ill, and her mother left Mora in order to look after her daughter in a very, very, very poor hovel, really. Anyway, this man found out where they were, arrived, got off his horse with his riding crop, came into this little hut and said he intended staying. And anyway, Laura said she was very, very ill, but she was not going to stay near this man. He struck her and left her there, a little heap on the floor of this hut. But she was the victor. And he left humiliated. And her mother realised what a wonderful girl she had. And she was reconciled with the church, and Laura had the happiness of receiving Holy Communion with her mother. She had explained to her mother that God loved her and forgave her for everything, and together they prayed, and Laura died 13 years of age. And she was beatified, which is not quite a saint yet, but she's blessed, Laura Vicuña.